Hello, America. Now, I'm not quite sure what's going on, but it's going on.
Designed by Europeans 300 and some years ago because of religious conflict. That religious conflict, they didn't have no clear delineation of who was in charge and who was in control. So they created these borders to separate and divide and control. That's literally what their purpose was when they created the borders. Instead of having natural territories like we all used to have, they created these borders to show a clear delineation of who is in control and in charge.
Now, it's fair to say that, other countries have borders for a reason. I mean, I can't just show up somewhere in Europe without a passport. I can't just pop up somewhere in Asia, you know what I'm saying, and just have a human right to be there. There's a reason all these things are in place. You know what I'm saying? Also, if she's talking about being indigenous, which she's not, um, we had territories, yes. We didn't have borders, no. But we were constantly taking over each other's shit. And it also wasn't designed 300 years ago by Europeans. I mean, there were a lot of different countries that had their borders. Long before that, there were countries long before that. It didn't just start happening 300 years ago to have borders. Like, what are you talking about?
Which was all rooted in white supremacy. So borders anywhere on this globe in the fashion that they are in now for the last 300 years is rooted in literal white supremacy.
So I guess if you're in Africa and you have borders and you want to protect your countrymen in whatever country you're in Africa, in the continent of Africa, if you want to protect your lands and your government and your people and take pride in, what you guys are doing, even though, I mean, there could be a number of reasons why one would want to leave their country and move to another country. How is that white supremacy?
So anything outside of open borders is continuing to uphold white supremacy. So if you are for decolonization and literally trying and really for decolonization, not decolonization when it fits your agenda, narrative, or vision, regardless of who it is, then you are upholding colonialism. You are upholding white supremacy. If we want to talk about the history, clearly, borders, the way they are used now, are literally rooted in white supremacy.
Does this broad not know about what's going on at the border? I kind of think she's oblivious as to what's happening right now or what's been happening in America at the border. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. All right. I've spent time at the border and been there, and not lately. Thank God, not lately. But the last time I was down there, it's a lot of men, a lot of trafficking going on. And I don't want to have to talk about what kind of trafficking either, but you know what I'm talking about. A lot of drugs coming through there. They just waltz it right in. And you want that to keep happening in America? I really hope you're not in America. I really hope you're not, because that would be really sad if you think open borders should be a thing.
So to uphold borders in any form or fashion is literally upholding white supremacy, and you are not truly decolonizing. To push borders for any group of people anywhere on this planet is upholding white supremacy. Period, point blank. I don't care every indigenous community, regardless of what continent, always wants their people prioritized. There's no doubt about that.
Now, this broad's probably going to be single for the rest of her life. And if she's not single, she's going to be miserable or make that man miserable. I feel bad for you, dude, if you are in a relationship with this broad.
I don't disagree with that. However, that means replacing the colonial governments with the indigenous peoples. Until you replace colonial governments with indigenous peoples, you are not going to get anywhere. We will continue to have the same fights. My stance has nothing to do with I'm sorry, my mind just went blank.
Which it seems very blank all the damn time with this topic. But go ahead.
My stance is to continue to push for decolonization of these constructs that have promoted and separated people, human beings, from not only their homelands, but the freedom of movement from whatever is going on in their countries. If I don't like being here, even though I'm indigenous to this land, and I want to move somewhere else, I should have the freedom to do so without question.
Just sad. What an idiot. Remember, folks, people like this, they could get on live on TikTok, they get on live on Instagram, they get on live on anything they can, and this is what they preach. Ma'am, I'm sorry. You are not of the people. You do not belong to my people. You're in America. I hope you're in America, because I want you to understand something. We're a conquered people. There's nothing we can do about the way things happened. What you need to focus on is trying to build a future. That's what I try to tell my people. That's the message I have for my people. Building a future doesn't mean losing our traditions and our culture. It means making sure that we have something to ensure our existence in the next 100 years. Badamya, matakwiyasi. Oh.